You would have to wonder how someone actually lives in here. Not only had it been bathroom, he'd also been using it as his kitchen.
I should explain that instead of having you walk in and get a fright.
Jared Buck from Trust Property Management is heading to a room-by-room property in the inner city suburb of Hataitai.
A unique property that we look after here. There's 9 rooms downstairs, 7 rooms upstairs, quite different cultures. Downstairs they live very independently of each other, whereas upstairs is a little bit more social.
Jared's here to reset the fire alarm and check up on 2 rooms that have been causing concern to the property owner.
So yeah, I was working a night shift and I soundproofed my room, but it's all held up by these beams internally. So
Okay.
there's no holes in the walls at all. And I thought I should explain that instead of having you walk in and get a fright.
Tenant has constructed a room-shaped box inside the existing room.
What's the need to soundproof your room to this extent?
Well, I was working a night shift.
Jared understands the need for a good night's sleep, especially when you need one during the day, but would have preferred to invest in some earplugs.
It's going to take a fair bit to take it out.
Yeah, it's all made to be
just so that you're aware that...
I plan to build my own house, tiny house, so there's $500 worth of materials here. It's coming with me, trust me.
Okay, yeah.
The tiny house movement is built around efficient use of living space and is a logical lifestyle choice to an engineering whiz like.
It's all internally supported with all of these beams going around, so there's no holes in the walls at all, and it keeps them nice and clean.
But Jared's worried this isn't just a tiny house, but also a tinny house.
What are you growing?
Cacti.
Are you sure it's cacti?
Yeah, man.
He's not only into tiny houses, but also tiny plants.
Okay, that's good.
But tiny living may land in big trouble. Although confident the builder is within the confines of his tenancy agreement, he hasn't informed the owner of the property, and now Jared will have to deliver the news.
Okay, well, we're going to just pop back downstairs.
But first, Jared has another room to check out down below, tucked away at the back end of the property.
It's Jared.
Isn't here, or at least not as far as Jared can see.
You would have to wonder how someone actually lives in here.
By the looks of things, fairly loosely.
We'll be having a few words that you can't have this much food in here because it just attracts rats.
While rats are on the guest list in the bed area, in the bathroom, it's more a case of ratatouille.
Not only had it been the bathroom, he'd also been using it as his kitchen. We were only alerted to that by the fact that the communal area had no dishes left in it.
Like favours an economic use of space, only without the precision engineering of his upstairs flatmate.
Towels and sheets that have gone on the floor are quite sodden. He just needs to tidy up in here before it starts causing some damage.
But it may require a bit of help to get started.
This is actually the communal vacuum cleaner. Don't know what it's doing in the room because you couldn't actually vacuum the floor if you wanted to.
The tenant of the messy room has now moved out, and Jared is worried about the state he's left his room.
We're hopeful, but we'll have to wait and see.
But if Jared was shocked by what he saw on his last visit, he's about to get an even bigger shock this time. So shocked, he's lost for words for a total of 17 seconds.
Wow, this is a change from when we were here last time. I never expected it to be tidied up.
It seems the inscrutable didn't leave without performing one last confounding act.
It was much, much better than we had expected we'd be able to do.
Cleaning up his room and taking the dishes out of his bathroom.
He's certainly surprised us with how he's presenting it, so we are quite happy. There were sheets outside the shower that were just soaked. The toilet was disgusting. The only issue that we have got is the ceiling, and we'll need to come in and give that a bit of a clean.
With that room no longer a problem, Jared heads upstairs to deal with one that still is.
Hello, it's Jared.
As Jared predicted, the owner has balked at unauthorised renovations and is also worried his cactus garden has caused a spike in electricity use.
Well, what assurances can you give me that the power usage isn't because of growing in your room?
I have two little, I think they're T5 tubes. They are 25 watts each. I mean, a heater is 2,000 watts.
Yep.
Jared trusts that his maths is sound, but needs to see for himself whether the inner walls of the room hold up to as much scrutiny.
What about if you took down part of it so we could see that there's no damage being caused, and we get the owner in to give the okay?
Yeah.
Cheers, we'll talk to you in a couple of weeks.
Yeah, sure.
We may have to give Rory the bad news that he has to take it all down. If that happens, he's not going to take it so well, but we'll have to deal with that when it happens.
He has agreed to take down part of the structure to prove that his rig isn't damaging the outer walls.
Where is it best to take this? Can I just...
Yeah, it just lifts right out. So I'm confident there's no damage. I designed this to put no holes in the walls. It was all built around the constraints of my letting agreement, so...
There's no screw holes, which is good to see. And although that's holding either sides out, it's not putting a lot of pressure, it's not causing any damage on the walls. I can pretty comfortably say that we'll be able to keep all this up in here. Any further modifications, however, you need to contact us first.
So it looks like soundproof structure is sound, which comes as a huge relief to...
Took too long to put this in to have to rip it all down.
Felt a bit mean having to get to take all the boarding off his walls, but he could appreciate the fact that he did that before he asked permission to do it. There's no damage and that we've got a happy tenant, which means they're likely to stay in the property longer.